Hello, everybody, and a very happy afternoon to all of you from Manresa, Spain. This is the Basketball Champions League. It's Group B action regular season, and it's BAXI Manresa and Hapoel Jerusalem. Well, the regular season concluding with this game. You can see in Group B on this game day, Pinar Karšiaká winning big their game at Arged, and now it's up to these two teams. Who's going to finish second and who is going to finish third as it relates to Pinar Karšiaká and this Hapoel Jerusalem team. You can see Hapoel Bank Yahav Jerusalem with Willie Workman, Jalen Adams, Amit Gershon, Itay Segev, and all the way down that roster, a very talented team. BAXI Manresa, meanwhile, Guillaume Joe, Sylvain Francisco, Dana Garcia, Chima Monike, Rafa Martinez, Elias Valtonen, Luke May. Again, very, very good and deep roster. Big changes with Hapoel Jerusalem, obviously, with Anthony Bennett leaving the club a few days ago. The club announcing that. And they have brought in John Ekbune, the Nigerian who grew up actually in America, played very well in Italy. He is not in the lineup today, however, for Hapoel. So Hapoel looking to finish second. And we may have gotten some bad information there, but anyway, Hapoel Jerusalem looking to finish second so they can have the favorable play-in for the round of 16, and of course BAXI Manresa have already clinched first place, so they will be going in and all guns blazing. They'll be at the round of 16, just coming off a tough home loss against Real Madrid. Ismail Bako played terrific in that game, going up against the giant center Eddie Tavares, and held his own. But Madrid leading by 3 late, and survived a late three-pointer that would have tied it from BAXI Manresa. Ended up winning it by 5. But BAXI Manresa, I think, one of the surprise packages not only in Spain this season, but also Europe. Clearly have had the best regular season in the Basketball Champions League, and Pedro Martinez again underlining his quality as a coach. But how about Yotam Halperin, the former great Israeli international, doing a great job since he has taken over at the helm of this Hapoel Jerusalem team. Georgios Porsanidis, Igor Mitrovsky, and Beniamo Manuel Attard are the referees for today's game. So no, that information was correct. It was Bremo that we got to look at there. Anyway, it'll be Jalen Adams, Itay Segev, Suleiman Bremo, Kaiser Gates, and Reten Obasohan, the Belgian sensation. Very good lineup there. Bremo, you might remember, began the season here in Spain playing for the two-time defending champions of the Basketball Champions League, Burgos. But he has returned to Hapoel. And there he is, Yotam Halperin, who I think really had a reputation for being an out-and-out scorer as a player, but really has demonstrated some some tactical savvy with this as the coach of Hapoel Jerusalem. Elias Valtonen, Vaulet, Luke May, Perez, and Sima will be starting today for BAXI Manresa. Remember, they have already punched their ticket to the round of 16. They are assured of finishing first in Group B with 5 wins in as many games under Pedro Martinez, who has had a lot of success as a coach over the years. And you know, no matter how you look at it, it doesn't matter where he's been. He's done a fantastic job, led Valencia Basket to the title in Spain a few years ago, and he has been terrific here with Manresa, especially this season. putting his imprint on the game. So Willie Workman and Hapoel getting in their final warm-ups here before the game. Monique as well. Always a fun time on Tres Reyes, the national holiday, playing basketball here. Great treat for the fans who aren't at work today, so they're able to come out and support the team and hope to build on that very impressive performance against Real Madrid a few days ago. So the loser of this game, remember, is going to have what I would suggest a very tough play-in to get to the round of 16. Well, in fact, the loser, if it is Hapoel, they will have to go up against Tenerife, and Pino Karšiaка would then finish second. So BAXI Manresa already assured a first place in the group, but they would like to keep that unbeaten run going. You name it. They are going to be coming out all guns blazing. Promete, meanwhile, will take on the team that finishes second. So that will either be Pino Karšiaка or Hapoel Jerusalem. So Hapoel Jerusalem, because they have the superior head-to-head, even though they split their games with Pino Karšiaka when they won in Izmir, Turkey, over Pino Karšiaka. They did so by a huge advantage, and that has given them the head-to-head if they finish tied with the same record. Per part de l'equip visitant, el Hapoel Banya Jerusalem jugaran amb el 4, Jalen Adams, el 6, Itai Seguet, el 17, Suleiman Karimov, el 22, Keiser Gate i el 32, Rally Nova Soana. El 5 inicial del BAXI Manresa, amb el 19, Elias Baltanen, amb el 22, Juan Pirolet, amb el 133, Luke May, amb el 55, Dani Pérez, i el 77, Yankuba Sima. So you go down and you look at this season for BAXI Manresa in this competition, and they just have been terrific, sweeping all before them. And really the prospects are there. You know, Spain teams have been the dominant teams in the Basketball Champions League overall, winning 3 of the 5 competitions. Hereda San Pablo Burgos winning the last 2 titles. And of course, in year 1, it was Tenerife. And there's Joe Thomason clapping from the bench and watching. Of course, he's their high-scoring shooting guard. He'll be taking in the action from the stands today. A lot of the regulars not in the lineup today, but again, a testament to the depth of BAXI Manresa. They've got a great team on the court. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Manresa, Spain for the BAXI Manresa Hapoel Jerusalem game. A very important game at that as BAXI Manresa get the opening tip and go in and score with a little runner. So the first 2 points go to the home team today. And now the drive, and Obasohan denied. And Pettit avoids, gets it to Luke May. And his pass intercepted. There's Pettit with the early bucket. And then coming to the other end and scoring is Jalen Adams. Sima played for Spain in the last window. Perez gets it to May. He can shoot it from deep, and he does. Three-pointer for Luke May, former North Carolina Tar Heel. And now they pass it around into the corner, and Kaiser Gates nails it to tie the game at 5. So Gates then comes down and commits the foul. Well, you want to be careful what you wish for in terms of who you want to play in the play-in for the round of 16. You would think that Tenerife would be the tougher opponent, and that is who Hapoel Jerusalem would take on if they were to finish third. But you never know with Promete. They could be dangerous as well. Another dump down low to Luke May. He puts it up and in. I tell you, Luke May comes from a big-time sports family. And famously made history when he was in the NCAAs with the Tar Heels, knocking Kentucky out of the NCAA tournament one year with a big three-pointer at the end. Now the shot, the miss, and here's May in the open floor. And he's going to take it all the way. And he misses, but there with the follow was Vowlet. Adams looks for space. Hands it off. And Segev fouled by Sima. And I'm sure Luke May would like to have that one back, but that's why you hustle down, as Vowlet did. So Amit Gershon checks into the game for Hapoel Jerusalem. Now the dump down low, and Bremo puts it up and in off the glass. Suleiman Bremo is one tough customer. Now the pass down low to Perez into the corner of Vowlet, and you can count it. 5-point advantage here for Manresa, and looking every bit as confident as they have all season long. And once you get that unbeaten run going, you know, it doesn't matter if this game isn't as significant in the standings for them. As you look at that Valle 3, they want to keep that train on track, and they want to send out a message that they're going into the round of 16 unbeaten. Nobody's going to want to face them. So Bremo, good attacking move for him. He gets in, draws the foul. He'll get a couple of free throws. And gets the first to go. So Hapoel trying to settle in here in hostile territory in Manresa. Basketball inbounded. Perez gets it over to May. Bounce pass down low to Sima. Little jump hook not there. Vowlet crashes the boards and comes over the back and commits the foul. Remember, some normal starters not in the game today for Manresa. Also coming off the bench will be Baco, Francisco, Garcia, Gilliam Joe, Rafa Martinez, Chima Moneke, and Steinbergs. Contact and great job getting it down low, and composed shot by Obasahan. Baltanen gets it down low, and Luke May not able, doesn't go up strong, and is denied. And Perez commits the foul on the perimeter. So Rafa Martinez is going to check into the game. Long-time pro in Spanish basketball. Vowlet takes a seat. Also checking in is Sylvain Francisco. He'll be guarding the inbounds passer. Hapoel Jerusalem will be aware of Martinez's propensity to hit three-pointers. I want to get a hand in his face. Basahan gets it over to Bremo, who travels. Jerusalem not in their flow right now, and it's not going to make it any easier with Bako checking into the game. So you've got one Belgium international on the floor and Bako for Manresa, and the other in the shape of Obasahan playing for Hapoel Jerusalem. Francisco pulls up from three. Count it. Another one. He's an exciting player, Sylvain Francisco. Now an entry pass, and what a beautiful finish from Willie Workman. May has it taken away. Obasahan, and he flies in for the two-handed flush. You can see why the Lions so excited about their Belgium internationals, although not on that move there from Bako, who turns it over. This was Obasahan after the steal and the dunk. And this was Bako. Yeah, just kind of shuffled his feet as Bremo came out and put some pressure on him. But I'll tell you, Bako has had some big games this season for Manresa, and boy, was he good, especially against Madrid. Twice going right at Tavares, the top center in Spain, and dunking on him. Now nice move down low for Bremo. Calmly puts it in, and Hapoel Jerusalem take the lead. Monike in the game now for Manresa, number 11. And his bounce pass stolen by Bremo, and Manresa out of sorts all of a sudden, and Bremo just glides in for an easy two-handed dunk. It's a 4-point advantage, and Martinez a little disappointed with recent events, turning the ball over at midcourt, leading to some easy baskets. So he calls a timeout, and again, Monike, that was a, here you go, Bremo, take this all the way down, uncontested. Well, it was BAXI Manresa that called the timeout, but we were able to go down and listen to Halperin. You might have noticed a very demonstrative Willie Workman doing a little bit of coaching in the huddle before he came over. And there's Thomason and Steinberg's looking on from the sidelines. Another pick, and they have just completely disrupted this Manresa passing game. Very careless, very lackadaisical. Martinez is if he was a little upset before, he's going to be furious if they turn it over again coming out of a timeout. And that's exactly what they have done. Now quickly, Bremo catches and draws the foul, and we are not seeing a good spell of play from arguably the best team in the Basketball Champions League this season right now. Manresa and Hapoel Jerusalem are, look at that, as Francisco came down to go for the block, and he literally jumped over Bremo. What an athlete. And Bremo was very kind, because just imagine if he had gone up with Francisco exposed like that. That would have been a rather painful experience for Sylvain. So Bremo having a great start to the basketball game today. Makes both free throws, and he's going to come out. So he leaves with coming in his place, Ite Segev. So Bremo with 10 points already. 10 points and a steal. And now the foul called on Hapoel Jerusalem. It was on Adam Ariel for holding Baco. They got the mismatch. And Baco might be looking to take advantage down low against Segev. Here's Monike, puts it up and in. Oh, Monike looked good gliding in for that basket. Workman to Ariel in the corner, who now gets it back up, hands it off to Segev. Now Obasohan. This is what he likes to do. He likes to get his feet wet. Nope, he passes out to the corner, and the basket is good for Gershon. Amit Gershon drills it, and the lead goes to 7 points. And now the pass from Baco, intended for Monike, goes out of bounds. It's been about as sloppy a first quarter as you will ever see from BAXI Manresa today. Already with 6 turnovers, and still have 2:40 remaining in this opening period. And Workman fouled as he puts the pressure on Monike, splits the defense with Valette, and it was Valette that reached in and committed the foul. So Valette goes out with his 3rd foul of the game. 3 fouls in the first quarter. And Workman, with a very Workman-like performance today, gets to the line, 8 points the advantage. Everything going according to plan for the team from Israel. Workman makes the second as well, and Halperin certainly looks pleased, but his team has had some big leads and seen them disappear this season, so he is not going to be resting comfortably at all. Valtonen puts it on the deck. The Finland international back outside to Francisco. Francisco spinning. Now puts it up and falls and fouled while putting it up by Workman. Boy, he really is a dazzling player, isn't he? Look at this. Spin, falls back, and makes sure that he goes down and gets the foul called. Really was pretty good defense from Workman to get the hand in the face, but must have made some contact. And Francisco completes the 3-point play opportunity. So back to a 6-point deficit now facing this Manresa team. And Jerusalem bring it forward. And now the turnover on Jalen Adams, or is it a foul on Segev? Yep, it was Segev moving, trying to set the screen into the Finland international Valtonen. And this is Certainly what Halpern would be concerned about. Manresa can put points on the board in a hurry. Good job getting out on Martinez. There was Gershon, and now Francisco misses. And despite having decent rebounding position there, Bako and Monike, Bako not able to control it. Tries to put it back up and in, and misses, goes out of bounds. And great play by Martinez defensively, but Francisco trying to get the layup, passing it down low, might have had a better, more success with the jump shot. Look at this. Trying to feed it to Monike. Francisco inbounds the basketball to Bako. Here's Valtonen. And this is Yengi. Drills it mid-range. And back to a 4-point deficit for Manresa. So good. Hands it off. Ariel, well, nothing but net, but unfortunately for him, it was on the outside of the net. So he holds his hand up and apologizes. Ariel's the captain of this team today. Remember, no more Anthony Bennett. He has moved on to pastures new, or at least he's looking for a new club. Former top pick in the NBA draft for Hapoel Jerusalem. Now stepping into it and missing from three-point range. But they're going to keep it at this end. Danny Garcia. Steinberg checks into the game, number 12. Into the corner. Wasahan guarding Martinez. Martinez gets it on the deck, puts it up at the line. A little short. Bako, though, with the rebound. Back to Martinez. Just looking for a little bit of daylight to launch a three. And they have to pick it up in a hurry, and missing it from a long way out was Garcia. Final seconds ticking off the clock here in the first quarter. And the team from Jerusalem on top, and driving in and scoring is Wasahan. Perez has it knocked away, and Ariel's shot blocked by Martinez right at the end. But it's hard to know what to make of this Manresa effort today. They were struggling. Pedro Martinez appealing for a foul there at the end. Felt like Segev fouled Garcia. You can see Workman looking with disdain down on Garcia, telling him to get up. It's Hapoel Bank Yaha of Jerusalem on top, 28-22 at BAXI Manresa at the end of one. So Jerusalem perfect at the free throw line, also 8 of 10 inside the arc. Good shooting for Manresa as well, but they're down at the end of one. So here's a look back at the first quarter highlights. And Bremo, remember, had 10 points in that first quarter, coming out and getting it rather easily. Manresa really struggling in that area of the court, trying to make some simple passes. And it happened like 3 times where the Jerusalem team just said thank you very much and went the other way. So 6 points for Francisco leads the way from Manresa. Valette has 5, but remember he also has 3 fouls. And it's Bramo's 10 points that leads all scorers. Obasohan also chipping in with 6 points for Jerusalem. Steinberg is going to guard the inbounds passer Gates, who's able to get the basketball to Obasohan. Garcia getting right up on Obasohan, who's not going to be put off driving to the basket. And Luke May rebounds the miss. Nope, has it knocked away, and a foul appears to have been called on Obasohan. It looked like Obasohan, that was a good effort by him. I think he was rushed into it, and you almost wonder if the strategy from Martinez is to put Perez out there on Obasohan and force him to make his move and drive, and for Manresa to be there waiting for him. Francisco. Here's Francisco again, flying in. Oh, are you kidding me? What a drive from Francisco. Beautiful finish. 8 points now for the point guard coming off the bench today. Adams loses control, almost turned it over. Shot clock winding down. Bramo is going to drive in, and he is denied by May. Tough shot for Bramo, but again, he had no choice. May into the corner, and that attempt is no good from Valtonen. Jalen Adams steps back and misses. Another rebound from May. Now the pass up the floor, and there's Steinbergs. And Halpern has seen enough. He needs to change the chip. Is Manresa charge back and pull to within 2 points. Boy, you got to love the sense of urgency that Danny Garcia has brought to this Manresa team. They have looked like a different team since he came out, and sure enough, Adams was able to save that right before it went over to commit a violation, backcourt violation. And that was the Perez pass. Give him a touchdown for that, and that was a great play for Manresa. So Garcia hasn't scored, but he's got that assist, and he's been they got a great club here at Manresa, and it is the main event whenever they're in action. Remember, this is a makeup game that was supposed to have been played twice before, and it's been postponed. But the game is now a minute and a half into the second quarter, and remember also that Pino Carciaca will be watching this, hoping that Manresa can do them a favor. Now the turnover. This is Pino Carciaca and Hapoel Jerusalem trying to get second place in the group. Here's Francisco with a pump fake, puts it up on the baseline. Francisco ties it up at 28. Garcia still guarding Obasohan. Launching it from a long, is fouled by Elias Valtonen. So good job there by Ariel. We're in those purple high tops. He does have a reputation for being somebody that can knock down the three-pointer, so you want to get on him, but you definitely don't want to foul him and put him on the line. And that's what Valtonen has done. Ariel makes the second. Jerusalem back up by 2 points. And Pedro Martinez looks on as Ariel sinks all 3 free throws. Garcia brings it up now, looking for an opening. Gets it. Now Francisco down the baseline, puts it up, and this is Sylvain Francisco's world right now, folks, and we're just living in it. Unbelievable. He has been as hot as a firecracker here in the second quarter. Kaiser Gates hands it off to Bramo. And now it is Kaiser Gates with the moving screen. And again, it's Francisco coming out and making the play, this time on defense. You see Halperin saying that he's flopping. And you could possibly agree with Yotam Halperin. Maybe not so much a flop, but Francisco alertly making the most of the opportunity. Here's Francisco again, guarded by Bramo. Steps back, and this time short, with the long rebound to Valtonen. Garcia. Garcia lets it fly. And the foul on the box out. And Ariel once again doing a great job contributing, coming off the bench. That time the foul on Luke May. And just kind of pushed him with his right hand, and Ariel went down. So first foul on Luke May. Hapoel Jerusalem down one, or up one rather, and now looking to stretch it, and they do with the reverse layup by Willie Workman. Great penetration by Obasahan. Now quickly, and nice pump fake from May gets Bramo off his feet, and Luke May will go to the line. Monike back in the game. And May gets it to drop. Only makes 1 of 2, however, and still a 2-point game in favor of Hapoel Jerusalem. Obasahan crosses midcourt. Back over to Hapoel, and then Bramo travels. Well, May able to get the hand in there. Might have been a little fortunate they didn't call a foul. Yankuba Sema comes into the game. May takes a seat, and Garcia gets it to Francisco. Remember, he's been the man with the hot hand here in the second quarter. Valtonen. Shot clock winding down, has it knocked away as he penetrates. And Workman with the lob! And hustling down, not able to get it. I think that was Ike Segev. That's a good attempt. There it is again. And you can see the missed opportunity. Now Monike So the referees want to discuss this. They're going to go over and look at the scores table. I'm not sure if there's a potential unsportsmanlike. We'll listen in case we can hear from them. Well, I'm not sure what they're looking at here. I don't see what the unsportsmanlike would be. But they have called it unsportsmanlike, so I'm just not exactly sure what it was for. Porzingis, a veteran referee, has been around a long time, and he knows with that review what he was looking for. So Francisco makes the first. So it was an off-the-ball situation. And Francisco makes the second. So it was on Adam Ariel, who committed. So I'd have to see it again and look at him. I was actually looking at the ball, and it was an off-the-ball unsportsmanlike. Sima goes to work down low, goes at Segev. Oh, he stepped out of bounds. Segev held his ground, and the big, strong Sima, his right foot hit the out-of-bounds line. Look at this again. Right there. That's the disadvantage of having big feet. Now Jalen Adams goes behind his back. Segev. Obasohan. Shot clock winding down. Obasohan lets it fly. It's good. Retin Obasohan continues to provide some impetus now with 8 points in the alley-oop, and Sima says, "See you later." Goodness me. He has got some hops. We saw him do that at the weekend as well, or earlier in the week rather. Now the dump, and the ball goes out of bounds. And despite trailing for most of the game, Manresa now can go back in front. They've been behind by as many as 9 points. They did have an early 5-point advantage. And now they can move back in front. And the attempt's not there. You saw Perez back in the game. Obasohan slips down but maintains his dribble, and then he gets his feet wet, misses, and Monike brings it back from Manresa. Francisco quickly down low to Monike. So Monike, the bespectacled Monike, throws it down. Great spot by Francisco, arguably the player of the game for Manresa, and sends the teams over to the bench during a Hapoel Jerusalem timeout. Francisco with 14 points, 2 assists.
You scared? but they are 10 times better. You're scared to win this game. If we're not going to be concentrated any second, we will get punished immediately. Immediately. So take a minute. We need to be big. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, you heard Halpern challenging his team, saying that they're scared to win this game. And, you know, Manresa perhaps have the advantage of already having punched their ticket to the round of 16, but they have been bringing the fight to this Hapoel Jerusalem team over the last few minutes and have taken a 2-point advantage. Valtanen comes up, doubles, and Obasohan gets around him. Adams, knowing the double team was coming, dribbles away from it, now puts it up and can't get the drop, follows up the miss and goes up and throws it down. That's why you follow your shot. Good things will happen. Martinez hasn't had any space to launch anything. And Perez misses from a long way out. And in the scrap for the basketball, it goes back over to Hapoel. Foul called on Yankuba Sima. And that's a good call. He kind of was reaching for the ball and he ended up clearing out Workman. That was Adams following his missed three and getting the dunk. So Obasohan and Jerusalem now with a chance to move back in front. Well, the Spanish crowd is easily riled, and you can hear the discontent right now here in Manresa. Trying to give their team a lift. Bounce pass. Segev gets it back to Obasohan, puts it up from deep, and that was long. Another foul has been called. This one on Monike, and a very light push ends up keeping the basketball at this end. So frustrating sequence apparently for Manresa. Bako's coming back in. Sima takes a seat. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Obasohan with the lob, and Monike goes up and disrupts it, but then Workman does such a great job, just doesn't give up on the basketball, and he's fouled. And he's appealing for an unsportsmanlike. Segev battling away, and that was a great play, and I think Workman's got a point there. I think that Bako might have committed an unsportsmanlike, and I'm not sure if they're going to look at it or not, and they are going to look at it. I think that he's going to get slapped with an unsportsmanlike because he definitely restrained Workman from going after the basketball. We'll get a look at what Porzingis is asking for. Watch this, right there. So he takes it away, and there he was holding him back. It's little things like that that Willie Workman really does bring to the table. Doesn't give up on the basketball. And Bako guilty of falling asleep after getting it. Here it is again. Look at this. He's got it. And, well, not necessarily falling asleep, but just not aware that Workman is coming in from the right wing. He did not hesitate to ask for the unsportsmanlike. This will be an unsportsmanlike. Goodness me, I am wrong. I can't believe it. They must have decided that Bako is definitely playing the ball. I would have gone the other way with that one. So Workman makes the first. And the second. So after the steal, he's fouled and he puts Hapoel Jerusalem back in front. And now a foul called on Hapoel Jerusalem. I guess in fact, it's a technical foul. Who must have complained about not getting the unsportsmanlike. So he must have thought that he deserved the unsportsmanlike foul, and he said something to the referee, and they weren't having it, and nor should they. They took their time to look at it, they evaluated it, and made their decision. And Rafa Martinez goes to the line and scores his first point of the game. Yeah. He's got to learn to button it. It's not good. Oh, Martinez gets a little bit of space. And look at Monike flying in for the rebound. Martinez this time fouled. This was Martinez again. I'll tell you, that, you know, as well as Workman has played today, his loss of composure could end up being incredibly costly for Hapoel Jerusalem. And the reason why is he has gotten this crowd wide awake. And they are into this thing now. Nevertheless, just one of two from the line ties it at 39. And the pass intercepted. Here comes Valtonen. Bounce pass, Monike. Oh boy, how did he finish that? And Manresa are back in front. Obasahan goes up. And great D from Danny Perez on Obasahan. Boy, this game has a little bit of nastiness to it, doesn't it? Manresa, they don't care if they've clinched their spot in the round of 16. They're going to put in an effort today. They owe it to their fans. And they want to stay unbeaten. Ariel back in the game, guarding Perez. Now Martinez. Over to Perez. Goes behind the back. They've got the mismatch. Baco down low on Ariel, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the three-pointer is good from Perez. And Manresa go up by 5. And what a pass and catch, but a great block from Monike. Obasahan thought he had a layup, and now the ball knocked out of Baco's hands by Ariel. Boy, Manresa have seized the initiative here late in the second quarter. Look at Monike. Goes up and says, hey, buddy, this is my house, and you're not going to do that here. Luke May comes back into the game. Kaiser Gates also back into the game for Jerusalem. Monike played very well in this second quarter, as Manresa have turned around a 9-point deficit to lead now by 6 points. And the lead goes to 7 with Baco's 2 free throws. And the technical foul by Workman lit the touch paper. It has been all Manresa ever since. Bounce pass. Segev, good strong move from the big fella. Valtonen goes to his left and misses. There's Bako going up for the follow. And the foul called. So the Belgian Lion will go to the line. Good aggressive play from both Valtonen and Bako. And Bako gets the first. And Bako gets the second. So back to a 7-point lead. Adams brings it up. It's Adams, Bremo, Gates, Obasohan, and Segev on the floor. Adams. Boy, that was a tough finish from Jalen Adams. He's had some good moves around the rim tonight, or rather this afternoon. And Bako goes up. Bremo knocks it out of his hands. And Bako says, I was fouled. Let's get a look at this. Well, he got a lot of ball. He might have gotten him on the arm as well on the follow-through. The pass to May. And May swatted as he goes up. But after the pump fake, also gets hit in the head. So Kaiser Gates hit with the personal. And Luke May will go back to the line. Well, uncharacteristically, Luke May missing a couple of free throws today. So Francisco comes back into the game here to play defense at the end of the second quarter with Manresa up 6. And do not put it past this Manresa team to get a steal and a fast break here right at the end. Perez guarding Obasohan. Obasohan makes his move. Gets his feet wet, and Bremo can't rebound the miss. May gets it off just in the nick of time, but it's not going to go for number 33. Well, that was a great second quarter for Manresa. They outscore them 27-15 and take a 49-43 lead to halftime.
Ja sabeu que passa a tots els pavellons de màxima categoria estatal. Vinga, fins a la mitja part.
Well, Manresa, each team with 11 made free throws, and
lose, you're going to try to get something. Stewart, he puts it up, nails it! What a finish to the third quarter in Cluj. Wow, how big will that end up being? Disney need to work fast. The pass to Gankiewicz. Oh, goodness me, the two-handed rim rocker.
49-43, BAXI Manresa on top of Hapoel Yahav Jerusalem today, and seeing some good things and some bad things from both teams, but that dominant second quarter from BAXI Manresa has put them on top by 6 points at the break. Francisco has really been terrific with 14 points leading all scores. And this Hapoel Jerusalem team, a lot of work to do here in the second half if they are going to not only win the game but clinch second place in the Group B, which would be exactly what the doctor ordered for them as they try to take on Prometei in the play-in for the round of 16. Now, if they lose, that Pino Karšiaka team is so good. And remember, Pino Karšiaka also made it to the final last season of the Basketball Champions League. They would clinch second place and have that favorable play-in for the round of 16. Lenovo Tenerife, meanwhile, awaiting the team that ends up finishing third in the group for the play-in. So a lot at stake here as these teams trade blows in the north of Spain. And the other thing is, when you consider it's not going to be an easy ride for whichever team finishes third in Group B, because they will go into group if they win the play-in against Tenerife. Group L would have Falco Sambote, Ritas Vilnius, and the winner of Tenerife against the third-place team in this group, as well as the winner of the SIG Strasbourg PAOK matchup. Although SIG Strasbourg rolled to a big win last night. Second half action underway, and driving in and being swatted at the rim and then swatted again, this time Sima. And great start to the second half for Hapoel Jerusalem. And that great start spoiled with the turnover by Adams. And the jump shot not there. Itai Segev flying in for the rebound. Jalen Adams and Hapoel. Well, it's just a 6-point deficit right now, but they've got to assert themselves here early on because they were on the back foot in that second quarter. Good hands by Francisco to knock it out of bounds. It's Francisco, Danny Perez, Yankuba Sima, Steinbergs and Vowlet on the court for Manresa. Adams, Bremo, Gates, Ubasohan, and Segev for Jerusalem. And here's Adams taking the bump and going up. Right when he felt the contact, he left his feet to go for the shot. And number 55, Perez, guilty of the foul. And Perez definitely barged into Adams. Remember, Vowlet, 3 first-quarter fouls, sat for the entirety of the second quarter. He's back in the game right now, but Adams with the miss. Adams makes 1 of 2. Now Perez. Back to Francisco. Guarded by Kaiser Gates. Francisco dancing around, puts it up, and look at that long rebound corralled by Sima, and Now this time it's Valletti gets the offensive rebound. Francisco again, and again another miss, another long rebound. The pass with down low to Sima. And he's fouled. Well, Halpern's going to be a little frustrated, giving up so many opportunities. In fact, they called the turnover on Sima, so the ball goes back over to Jerusalem. Obasohan takes an extraordinarily difficult shot, unsuccessful, and the break triggered. Here comes Manresa, and Perez misses. Now here again is Adams. Quickly up the floor, and doesn't mess around. Boy, what a finish. He wanted a foul. And back to 3-point deficit, Perez. Manresa struggling to put the ball in the basket here in the second half. Francisco misses, and another chance for Jerusalem. Obasohan's been figured out here in this second half, and Bramo drives in, and he's blocked by Sima, and the foul. So that was a great replay, a good look at it, and Martinez now taking Sima to task and brings him out of the game. Bramo makes the first. You know, you think it doesn't mean anything to this Manresa team, but it does. And perhaps more than anything else, you never want to form bad habits. They're going to be in the round of 16, but you never settle for bad habits or mistakes from your players. So just a one-point game right now. Perez drives, puts it up, and that is good. Adams knocked it out of the rim after it was already down. Obasohan. Segev. Here's Adams. He's been lively here in the third quarter. Adams again. Puts on the deck, drives in. Boy, that was a tough finish for the second time. Adams able to get to the rim. Francisco has it knocked away. Great defense by Obasohan. Now Obasohan on the break. And great defense by Perez to impede the progress. Here's Kaiser Gates. Doesn't go down from number 22, Valette. Meanwhile, being harassed by Kaiser Gates, who is whistled for the foul. Well, that was a very tight call on Kaiser Gates. Looked like it's pretty good defense. He has to go sit down with his fourth foul. Big play, big call goes against Hapoel. Now the alley-oop knocked away by Segev. Ariel gets it to Obasohan. There's Obasohan again, drives in, and finally gets one to go. Well, it seemed that Manresa had kind of solved the Obasohan drive dilemma, but that time he was able to get it up and in with the left hand. Garcia back in the game now, number 6 from Manresa. Baco as well. And his pass to Valette knocked out of bounds. 3.5 seconds remains. Jerusalem leading it by 1 point. They win it. They finish second in Group B. If they lose, they finish third, and Pino Karciaka finishes second. Willie Workman, meanwhile, had a pretty strong first half. A little bit of loss of composure, though, was costly when he had the technical foul called on him. The alley-oop pass on the inbounds play not converted by Bako. And here's Adams again, has it knocked out of his hands. Bremo. And his three, not good. Bounces over the backboard. And so Manresa have the basketball back with Rafa Martinez back in the game. Luke May perhaps wondering when he's going to get back in the basketball game. Garcia. And a moving screen called on Bako, it appears. Or is it on Martinez? No, it is on Bako. Yeah. It was not only a moving screen, but a little bit of extra as he pushed off there in the head region on Adam Ariel. Monike not able to rebound, but gets it over to Bako, who does. Three-point shot, good! So coming out and drilling it was Garcia. That's his first three of the game, in fact. And Manresa go back up by 2 points. Good move, but the finish wasn't there for Basahan, and again a chance to extend the lead. Garcia gets it to Bako, who hands it off to Vowlet. Ball bounced away. Remember today, no Giannis Bergens, no Gilliam Joe as well for this, and no Joe Thomason for Manresa. Here is Ariel drilling the go-ahead three-pointer. Pass to Bako, whips the pass, and Vowlet fouled as he goes up. Great awareness by Bako. Right when he catches the basketball, he knows that his teammate is getting into position. So if Vowlet makes one of these two free throws, Bako will deservedly get the assist. And Valtonen comes into the game. Segev, a little bit of frustration. So Vowlet had the foul trouble, the 3 fouls in that first quarter, sat the second, but he's been playing the entirety of the third quarter. And makes 1 of 2, so it's a tie game once again. Number 55-55. Obasahan brings it across midcourt. Again, drives in, and he gets to the line. So Garcia with the foul on the Belgium international, Obasahan. You know, oftentimes when a jump shooter is off target, a really good one, he'll just keep putting them up. And eventually he'll back himself and make it. And Obasahan is the same way. When he puts the ball on the deck and goes to the basket, you know, there was about 6 minutes in a row there where he had no success, but he has stuck with it. And we've seen him successful now on a couple of drives. Advantage. Now the dump, and good defense from behind by Workman on Martinez. Obasahan again. And this time wasn't able to finish with Elias Valtonen bearing down on him from behind. Monike to Valtonen. Monike follows up the shot. Boy, he is aggressive. Watch this battle That was more about position than anything for Segev. It was a sort of a cheap foul to give away, but nevertheless, it was called. Garcia, again, Jerusalem up by 3. They need to win to finish second. Garcia ties it once again, his second 3 of the quarter. Well, Hapoel Jerusalem, one of these teams, you know, we really expected them to challenge for the title the last few years. And now they're just trying to get to the round of 16. Ariel misses. Now Martinez crosses midcourt. Here's May. Mayday! Luke May takes it up to a 61-58 lead. 10 points for Luke May. And timeout called by Halpern over there on that Hapoel Jerusalem bench.
Here, okay, you have to stop the ball. Okay, you have to stop the ball because he wants to go to the basket. Okay, see, and okay, wish here, okay, go here to the short roll to avoid this pass. Okay, vale, see, opportunity for fifth down now. Okay, vale, see, venga, vamos, venga. Go guys.
Hey man, please. I need the ball.
Well, you got to really appreciate. Not only is Martinez a good coach and spelling out correctly how it's Obasanjan that's really trying to go to work on him, so they've got to stop the basketball, but he's got to also speak not in his native language there. He's speaking in English, so we're going to coach in Europe where you're going to have a lot of English speakers, particularly Americans coming over. You got to be, of course, speaks English, speaks his Hebrew, and we have got us a humdinger right now, 3-point lead for Manresa. Obasanjan, Garcia, and Obasanjan still able to almost get to the rim, and great help by Monike at the end. It looked like Obasanjan had space, and he just lost control, in fact, of the basketball. But he was under pressure trying to make a play. Here's Garcia now. He's hit a couple of threes. He's going to dump it down low. Good D from Segev to knock it out of bounds. They've got really good balance in this Manresa team. Good backcourt. Forward player's been strong as well. Here's Monike. Takes it down. Now over to May. Pump fake. And didn't have time for that as the shot clock expired. So solid defense from Jerusalem gets them the basketball back, and again, Obasanjan has it in his hands. It's kind of clear out time for Retin Obasanjan. Keeps his dribble, gets it over to Segev, and he was fouled by Francisco. And no, in fact, it was May who reached in at the end to commit the foul. And Obasanjan has to work exceptionally hard in this offense. And you could see he's a little gassed. But he goes to the line, tries to catch his breath, and makes the first. Played some college basketball himself. Played for the Alabama Crimson Tide, Retin Obasohan. And he makes both. Adams comes back into the game. Monike. Garcia. Francisco. Garcia. Ooh, boy, that looked good. Just didn't drop. Rattled out. So Jerusalem can go back in front here. Adams backing down low. Gets it to Workman. Got to watch the 3-second violation. And it's going to be Ariel stepping up and hitting a huge three. Well, who are we kidding? They're all big right now. All these shots. Not for the first time. The three-point threat of Ariel comes to the fore. And don't forget, he also got fouled while attempting a three and made all 3 free throws. Garcia hands it off to Francisco. Shot clock down to 4. Francisco for 3. Good. Boy, he has been an out-and-out killer today. And Ariel's not even going to attempt it. So the teams trade threes right at the end of the third quarter, and Manresa have a 64-63 lead over Hapoel Bank Yahab Jerusalem following this Francisco bomb from a long way out. Here he is again. Steps back. In fact, it wasn't a long way out. It's just right on the three-point line. $17 points for Francisco. And 64-63, BAXI Manresa on top of Hapoel Jerusalem. Here's a look back at some of the highlights from the third quarter. Garcia coming out and hitting the three-pointer. And then he went to the other end and hit one as well. Luke May hit a three. And that was some good defense by Hapoel Jerusalem. Obasohan really struggled in that second quarter, but he seemed to get his mojo back going to the basket. And Adams was also terrific, getting out and scoring on the break, and then just really tough move to get it to drop. It's all hands on deck really for this Hapoel Jerusalem team as they try to win, try to beat Manresa, something that no team has done in the Basketball Champions League this season. And the prize for victory over Manresa would be second place and a matchup with Promete in the play-in for the round of 16. If they lose this game, it's Pinar Karšiaka that finishes second, and it'll be Tenerife that'll be the opponents of Jerusalem. Now Bremo catches it down low and scores, and Jerusalem go up by 1. Either way, it looks like Tenerife are going to have a very difficult play-in for the round of 16. This Jerusalem team or Pinar Karšiaka will be tough. Segev almost gets to steal. In fact, he does force the turnover. Look at Segev moving the feet and then reaches in. Uh, 16 turnovers for the home team today, 13 for Hapoel Jerusalem. Getting a look now at Amit Gershon, giving Obasohan a breather. There's Gershon again. Into the corner, Ariel for 3, misses. Bremo battles for the rebound. A lot of red shirts, but he comes away with the basketball, but then turns it over. And the hands, the active hands of Francisco, forcing the turnover. Valtonen getting out on the break. Good job by Jerusalem to prevent the layup. Boy, this thing is on a knife edge right now. 1 point lead for Jerusalem. Perez gets it to Jakub Sima, who's unsuccessful. And Bremo gets it back to Amit Gershon. And Sega falls over after a little bit of a bump from Sima. And great defense yet again by Manresa, knocking the ball out of the hands of Gershon. And they are definitely relentless defensively. So Obasohan has had a breather. He's back in the game. And three-point shot not there for Ariel. And Francisco up ahead. What a break. Valtonen running the court very well. Bremo bringing the basketball up the floor. And now Obasohan has it taken away by Francisco. Garcia. And now it's going to be the three-point attempt not going to fall for Steinbergs, and the foul called on Sima. So Jerusalem dodged a bullet. If that had fallen, they'd be facing a 4-point deficit right now. Well, you have to appreciate everything that Obasohan has done today. It's not just score 15 points. He's also handed out 8 assists. He's got 5 steals. And here's his pass, and now it leads to a bucket. And Jerusalem go back in front. Segev with the dunk. Perez over to Valtonen. And Steinberg, excuse me. Steinberg's fouled by Amit Gershon. So Steinberg's a 20-year-old from Latvia, makes the first. Hasn't played that much this season. He has made some appearances, some substantial appearances in the Basketball Champions League. He's been very good, in fact, for his team. So working back into the game, Steinberg's 2 free throws put his team back in front. In fact, he had only scored 2 points in the competition coming into today. Bremo. Oh boy, wonderful play. And Obasohan is now just an assist shy of a double-double. Points and assists. And Amit Gershon called for the foul, playing defense down low. So Francisco takes a seat. Jerusalem having to work hard on defense here. 6.5 minutes remaining. Vowlet for 3, nope. And Sima not able to rebound it. Garcia back in the game. Keeping the pressure on Obasohan. Martinez knows that's the key for this Hapoel Jerusalem team. They want Obasohan to have the ball in his hands. Everything starts with him. Here he goes. He gets inside, tries to make the dish to Workman, and it goes out of bounds. Let's have a look. Well, you can see why maybe he felt like that ball went off of Manresa, off of Steinberg's. 6 minutes to go. And the dump. Great defense by Workman. The recovery now. Adams in the open floor. And we know what he can do when he gets down low. How in the world does he finish so well? He is really tough, knifing his way into the paint and scoring. So Jerusalem up by 3. Martinez misses from deep. Vallette gets swatted by Workman. Boy, Workman just comes up and makes play after play. Here's Adams again. He just scored. And he's going to try his luck again. This time he's going to get rejected by Vallette, but the ball goes over to Abasahan. Bremo keeps it alive. Adams gets it. And tried to make a pass, and Manresa alert. And I think Manresa are going to have the basketball here. Great work by Baco. Boy, both teams are really going after it. Oh, it looked like that might have gone off Baco's right hand. Here it is again. Great block by Vallette. So a 3-point lead for Jerusalem. Birds gets it over to Martinez. That looks good. It is. He ties it up. Rafa Martinez. Nine of 27 from 3-point range. Our Manresa. Hapoel are 4 of 12 from deep. Here's Abasahan going behind his back, gets inside, makes a very difficult pass to Workman, gets away, and it leads to a break for Manresa. And the dunk! Great running of the floor by Elias Valtonen. And Manresa have moved back in front. Great play by Martinez. He had just hit a 3, and here he is serving up a long baseball pass. And Valtonen runs the floor well for a big fella.
When we play the head, okay, so make a good screen. We have after this 2 and 4 corners. Don't plant the defense, don't do nothing, okay? Plant it. Let's go with the game. Win the game, baby.
So Yotam Halpern just paid a huge compliment to Rafa Martinez, calling him the best shooter in Spain. And to be honest, if you go back over the past decade or so, Martinez has definitely been an elite player out on the perimeter with Valencia Basket and now with Manresa. Not playing as many minutes, obviously, as he used to. But Yotam Halperin said, listen, now is his time, so you've got to get a hand up in the face. Porcinitas and Halperin have an exchange there. A friendly exchange. 4.5 minutes remaining. Adams gets the ball across midcourt to Abasahan. Here's Abasahan again. Over to Adams. Shot clock winds down. Steps back, Adams. Terrific effort on the board from Bremo. Gates ends up getting it. Now they pass it around again. Obasohan shakes and bakes. Over to Adams. Ariel for three. Oh, boy, that was beautiful basketball. Beautiful passing from Hapoel. Finding their best three-point shooter, Ariel. And he drills it. 12 points. 3 from deep and 3 from the free throw line after the foul. And now Ariel comes around and makes a big steal. We heard Willie Workman over there on the bench before they returned to the floor. He shouted, "Let's go win this." And if they do win it, they're going to finish in second place in the group. And that would be a huge, huge feat considering this Manresa team has not lost this season in the competition. Martinez, meanwhile, decides, as good a shooter as Rafa Martinez is right now, I need to get a little more quickness on the court with Francisco. So Francisco comes back out along with Garcia. And Ariel, who has just made a couple of big plays, inbounds the basketball to Obasohan. Ariel spotting up in the left corner. Obasohan over to Adams. Adams decides to launch it, and he makes it. And back to a three-point lead now for Jerusalem. Manresa, is their perfect record going to fall by the wayside today? Hapoel Jerusalem have done well. Francisco takes a three, goes down, but there's no call. He was trying to draw the foul. Trying to convince the referee that he was fouled, but no whistle. Now Obasohan bumped by Garcia at midcourt. And Ariel still open. No, he gets a down low to Bremo. Goodness me. Jerusalem back up by 5 points. 2.5 minutes remaining. Pinar Kosciaka watching, hoping perhaps Manresa can come back and win it. So Obasohan with the foul on Garcia. Obasohan, meanwhile, with a double-double points and assists today. Got the assist on that last basket. Garcia. Valtonen. Entry pass. Monike gets swatted by Kaiser Gates. And Obasohan has it knocked out of his hands by Francisco, but then controls it. Boy, this is a huge possession. If they can score here, it might be a little difficult for Manresa. Obasohan travels. He got into the paint and made his move. He went down, and the call went against him. Here he is again. Garcia playing the D. And there was definitely a couple of reaches there, but he did slip and fall over. And look at that block from Gates. Not in my house. Less than 2 minutes to go here. Buckle up the seatbelt, folks. You know Manresa is not going to give up the ghost. They're coming. May gets it to Monike. Gets in the paint. Oh, sweet, soft jumper from the bespectacled Monike. Now the basketball inbounded to Adams. Manresa picking it up on defense. A minute and a half. Mark now upon us. Adams. Shot clock down to 5. Adams takes a very difficult shot. Surely they could have got better than that. A three will tie it up. Francisco, full meter behind the arc, is not there. The follow, not there either from Valtonen. And they're able to get the basketball over to Obasohan with a minute remaining. Jerusalem up by 3. Desperately trying to hold on here to get a valuable win. Obasohan. Shot clock down to 3, 2. Obasohan has to launch it, and he only skims the net. And for the second consecutive possession, a very poor offensive set run by Hapoel Jerusalem. I mean, you want to take time off the clock, but you also want to get a good shot. And you also have to credit the Manresa defense. Remember, Kaiser Gates had that great block on Monike, but he's got 4 fouls. And the three-point shot, Luke May, not there. Gates trying to keep Monike away from the basketball, and it goes off of Kaiser Gates. So the workhorse, Monike, doing a great job of keeping it alive. Francisco is going to inbound the basketball. Great D out on the perimeter. Luke May makes a terrific catch. Shot clock down to 9. It's go time for Garcia. Nope, he's going to give it over to Francisco. Another long 3 attempt. Good! He ties it! Well, he's just too good. If he keeps putting them up, he's going to nail one of them. And Sylvain Francisco has been utterly terrific. Tying it with a three-pointer, the step back, and he has got 20 points. Probably the player of the game for this BAXI Manresa team, which is just so tough to beat this season. They haven't lost in the Basketball Champions League. They're in the top 8 in Spain. Let's go down to the bench and listen in.
I think they are going to take the ball here. Okay? We have to do face down, for trap for sure. We want that they pass the ball. Okay? See? Okay? I don't know who is. Maybe they pass the ball here. One, don't press. Let them to receive easy. Okay? But then, the moment that he dribble, okay, press the ball. Okay. Well, say half court. Okay? Who is close at the half court? Okay? Go for trap. And the other 3 ready for a steal. Okay? See? If they take the ball here, okay? See? The defender of the ball, the moment that he pass, go for trap and rotate. You understand? Okay? But here at the half court. Okay?
Well, he said it. Look for the trap at half court after they make the pass. They're going to come up and try to force a turnover, and you would imagine Jerusalem are going to have something planned. Maybe Ariel will be a threat for them. But this was Francisco, and he's just good. I mean, what can you say? That was a tough shot made by Sylvain Francisco. Obasohan with 15 points, 10 rebounds. Adams has 15 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. 15 points, 10 assists for Obasohan. 18 points for Suleiman Bremo. What will they do? Oh, they throw it away, Obasohan! Into the corner, Valtonen, and decides to get it over to Francisco, the man with the hot hand. No, he gets it to Luke May for 3! And he misses. And we are going to have overtime. Wow. Manresa came up with a steal just as Martinez had instructed on the pass to midcourt. And it's 78-78 at the end of regulation. Second place still on the line. Manresa 17 of 33 inside the arc, 23 makes inside the arc for Jerusalem. But look at that, 5 more threes for Manresa. And Jerusalem have made all but one of their free throws. So as we look at the second half best plays, it's worth remembering that Manresa already have clinched first place and they're going into the round of 16. But they are taking the professional approach to this and trying to remain unbeaten in the Basketball Champions League. They don't want to lose this incredible momentum that they have built with a home loss here on Three Kings Day in Spain. Meanwhile, Hapoel Jerusalem really going for second place as they try to face Prometey in the play-in for the round of 16. They're trying to beat Pinar Karšiaka to that second place. Remember, they have the better head-to-head with Pinar Karšiaka having won by 20 points in Izmir. But they need to win this game to finish second. Otherwise, it's Pinar Karšiaka that will finish second. And the team that finishes third will have to go up against Tenerife in the play-in. So much to play for here in Manresa, Spain. And this is exactly what we expected. A classic between two great clubs in the Basketball Champions League. Will Hapoel Jerusalem have enough to get to the finish line? You know, they had an opportunity, but the execution was not there at the end of the game. And Pedro Martinez's Manresa team, meanwhile, showing why they are also among the contenders for the playoff spots in the vaunted Spanish Liga Endesa, the ATB, the way they have played and the way they have refused to give in today. Overtime is underway here in Manresa. 78-78 between Manresa and Hapoel Jerusalem, and May, who just missed from that spot. A potential game-winning three, misses again to start the extra period. Now Obasahan, who had the big turnover there right at the end of the game. And fortunately for him, it didn't cost him. And this time, his pass gets away from Kaiser Gates. The Hapoel Jerusalem offense really kind of grinding to a halt the last few minutes. Francisco, meanwhile, a constant threat. Has the basketball in his hands for Manresa. Francisco, we've seen it before, a little step back action. This time he doesn't make it. And Kaiser Gates with the rebound. Remember, Kaiser Gates has got the 4 fouls. Obasahan. Oh, nice pick and roll. Kaiser Gates decides not to shoot it. Shot clock down to 7. Gershon under a little bit of pressure. He launches a 3, has some space. It rims out. And good work, though, from Ariel from behind to knock it away. And Bremo comes up with the basketball. 3:40 to go. Bremo tempted, but not going to shoot it against Monike. Shot clock winding down, bounce pass to Obasahan. And Obasahan couldn't get to drop. Vallette on the break, and he's fouled by Bremo. Here he comes again. Vallette runs the ball very well. Bremo probably did not make much contact, but he definitely lowered his hands, and it looked like he could have fouled him. Here's Vallette. Well, one of these teams is going to be bitterly disappointed after this game, that's for sure. Always happens after an overtime loss. Vallette makes 1 of 2. Ariel says, come back and help. You got to come and get the ball. They're slow to it, and it turns it over, and it's a 3-point lead. Very poor from Hapoel Jerusalem. What a sequence. 3-point lead now for Manresa. 3 minutes remaining. Obasahan. And fouled by Francisco. Well, I am sure. Good hands by Vallette. He just made the free throw. He stays down. He knocks the ball away from Kaiser Gates. Francisco, he's got 4 steals. That was his 2nd foul. So it was Obasahan. Obasahan gets it, and tough finish from Bremo, and he's fouled by Monike. Well, one Nigerian fouled by another Nigerian, and he does not make the free throw. And then the foul called on Hapoel. So free throws coming since Jerusalem over the limit, and it's going to be Monaco who attempts to extend the lead. Monaco's first free throw of the game is good. Monaco has 9 points, 7 rebounds. Solid performance from him, and he only makes 1 of 2, so 2-point contest. Still hanging in the balance here at Manresa. Obasanjan probably has had the ball in his hands more than anybody for both teams. Pulls up from deep. Good! Well, this time he doesn't drive. He buries a three-pointer. And a go-ahead 3 at that. A sensational game for him today. 18 points, 11 assists for Retan Obasanjan. And Obasanjan this time reaches in and forces a turnover. And Obasanjan, who turned it over late at the end of regulation, has now made a couple of huge plays. And Martinez frustrated that his guard gives away the ball that cheaply. Now Adams. And dumps it to Gates. And there's the follow from Bramo. And once again, a 3-point lead for Hapoel Jerusalem. With 1:51 remaining. Valtonen going to check into the game for BAXI Manresa. Crunch time. Jerusalem were in trouble. Now they're up by 3 points. Coming up on the 1.5-minute mark in overtime. Garcia gets some space, misses, and Kaiser Gates rebounds it, and Jerusalem will not be in any rush right now. But they can't settle for a bad shot. They've got to do better. That's what got him in trouble at the end of regulation. Now it's go time for Obasanjan. He gets it to Hapoel. That's a good shot, and he makes it. Boy, talk about a preferred option. Hapoel is just ice running in his veins from 3-point range all game long. Luke May can't get it to fall. And Hapoel with the rebound, and Jerusalem now can sense it. Second place will be theirs if they can execute down the stretch. We'll talk about players that know their roles and understand what they can do to help their team win. Hapoel is just sensational from 3-point range. Look at this. And he does it with a player flying right in his face. The captain. 4 of 7 from 3-point range. Hapoel, 3 of 3 at the line after his foul shooting the 3. That is what you call a threat from deep. And now the dreaded free throw miss for Hapoel Jerusalem breathes a little bit more life into the Manresa team, who's looking to remain unbeaten in the Basketball Champions League this season in their 6th game. Obasanjan makes 1 of 2. Well, overall, they've been very good from the free throw line. Francisco gets it across midcourt. Kaiser Gates doing a great job staying with him. He's got 4 fouls. Gates. Here's Francisco and ends up taking the easy option, the 2. So
take the ball out, you can run, okay? Adam, you take Jay, okay? Show yourself, so you have to show. Now, after the ball is in, they might trap from the inbounder. Please do me a favor, not like before. Open up passing lane.
Hey, start high so we have space to run down.
Go, I need to go.
you got a lot of players over there that know exactly what they want to do. I guess that's good. But it was almost as if Jotam Halpern had to fight to get in there to give the instructions. So let's see if that vaunted Manresa defense can come up with force another turnover and give them a chance to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat here in the final minute. They trail by 5 points, Manresa. They're undefeated in the Basketball Champions League, but that record is now in danger. Bremo fouled by Monike. 26.9 seconds remains. And as it always does, the free throw line comes into view here at the end. Segev checks back into the game. And Bremo rattles in the first one to take it back up to a 16-point lead. He only makes 1 of 2, though. So it's 2-possession game here. They'll be looking for the 3. Garcia. He launches short. And Fountain got it back, but then Hapoel knocked it away. I think it was Ariel that stole it, the late game hero, but they might have called a foul here on Ariel. So they did indeed. So Bremo turned it over, lost control of it out of bounds. So 12.7 seconds. There's still time for Manresa, but somebody's got to hit a 3. And now, can you believe it? They have called a technical foul on Ariel for crossing over the line. He's got to know better. And they're probably not making that call unless they've warned him already. Look at this. You are not allowed to do that. You have crossed over, and now that is a crucial mistake for Ariel. So Jerusalem not out of the woods yet, and it's going to be Luke May who steps up to attempt the technical free throw. And the Tar Heel makes it. So it's a 5-point game. And now what you don't want to do is foul the 3-point shooter as well if you are Hapoel Jerusalem. They're looking for something easy. Here's well, it's going to be Francisco. He gets open. It looks good. Oh, it rimmed out. It rattled out, rather. And Jerusalem finally going to be able to celebrate. What an incredible game. What an incredible result. They had to dig deep against a Manresa team that was not going to go quietly today. Yotam Halperin and Hapoel Jerusalem have done something that no other team in the Basketball Champions League has been able to do this season, and that is win against BAXI Manresa 90-85. They clinched second place, and Pinar Karšiaка finished third in Group B. Well, it was far from a perfect performance from Hapoel Jerusalem, but they will take it. They came and did what they needed to do to get second place. Just an overall terrific game by Francisco goes to waste. But Hapoel Jerusalem will have excited their fans back home. They laid it all on the line today, and they showed what that Hapoel Jerusalem pride is all about. And now they believe they've got a more favorable path to the round of 16 against Prometei in the run-ins, and have avoided Lenovo Tenerife, which is the team that Pinar Karšiaka will have to face. So, certainly the toughest of run-ins you would imagine will be Karšiaka and Tenerife, but what can you say? I mean, talk about a Herculean effort today by Obasanjan. He was amazing, and Adams was also so terrific, but really it was everybody. It was all hands on deck. As that play right there demonstrated, with Bremo going up and scoring with the putback. Everybody contributed for Hapoel Jerusalem. I mean, this is a famous win for this team, and one of the most important they've ever had in the Basketball Champions League. So they had 3 less threes, but look at the free throw shooting. 19 of 23 for Hapoel Jerusalem, 6 more makes for the visitors inside the arc, and they ended up out-rebounding Manresa by 5. 1 less assist, but 2 more steals. And it's awfully difficult to come up with the player of the game. Bremo ended up with a game-high 23 points. Obasanjan had the double-double with points and assists. Adams had 15 points. Francisco, 22 points. Luke May, 11, but missed some big shots late. Monike ended up with 9 points and a lot of rebounds. So Manresa already in the round of 16, but their unbeaten mark is now a thing of the past. They are 5-1. They finished first in Group B. Hapoel Bank Yahav Jerusalem are 3-3, but they have the better head-to-head against Pinar Karšiaka on points difference or goal differential, and Arged being stalled. Interesting competitive season for the Polish club. They finished 4th. 90-85, Hapoel Bank Yahav Jerusalem win it at BAXI Manresa after overtime. The thrills and spills keep coming in the Basketball Champions League. And now back to the run in action. Thanks for watching, everybody.